Fun with failure.
Welcome to the Neckbeard experience. Today I've compiled a list of Neckbeards that I hope you will enjoy. Some you may know, and some new ones. We will start with Palabeard, the chapter of Lady Charlotte. Then Jay, the tabletop beard, and his Creepachew cosplay. Next is Trollbeard, the nasty perv, and lastly, Security Beard, the officer of offensiveness. So sit back and get ready for the cringe fest. Here we go. Let me introduce the characters. There's me. I'm 20 years old, male, and I'm a dungeon master for the D&D game. I previously skipped out on my own description, have brown hair, and I look pretty decent. I'm around 5'9", 5'10", and around 140 pounds. Is this relevant? I mean, only if you need a mental image of me. Then we have Palabeard, or Mini Moon. I described him in the last installment, but for the newcomers, he's around 6'1", 6'4", and he weighs a lot. He's very pale, and he has a Grinch-like smile, with the breath to match. Here's a new character. Perfect. She's my girlfriend. I named her such because she is. She's got strawberry blonde hair. She's slightly shorter than me, and is way out of my league. She's super sweet and nice to everyone. Then we've got Bald Spot. Once more, my former best friend. Very tall, and has a massive bald spot on his head. Then we've got Ranger, the longtime victim of Palabeard's advances. I described her in the last installment, and I will stress this again. She's a lesbian. Lady Charlotte, a personality invented within the mind of Palabeard for his D&D campaign. Originally meant to be an NPC, she quickly took root into Mini Moon's mind and has since infected what I estimate to be about 35 to 40% of his brain. Now for the story time. Boy oh boy, have any of you ever seen The Butterfly Effect? It's a pretty okay movie, but the main character keeps trying to fix things and makes them worse. That's how I feel when I'm dealing with Palabeard. So I kicked him out of the D&D group. I was hoping that would send a message to him, such as, cut that creepy crap out. I mean, be respectful to people's wishes. Instead, it prompted him to declare, E5 is stupid. And thus began his fall from simple cringe to utter madness. He set about on his own tabletop system, then he insisted that everyone in my group participate, and to read through a system that he made. At first it didn't seem so bad. Of course his system had some classes and races horribly overpowered, and he would just ignore anything said about that. But for a brief moment, I thought I may enjoy it. Then he began making NPCs. Now, I myself normally make a few political figures and then make other NPCs in session, or according to my players' backstories. Palabeard simply decided to make all the NPCs he wanted us to interact with right off. Thus, Lady Charlotte was born. In the beginning, he was simply referred to her as a quest giver. Then he started speaking in her voice, a shrill, overly joyful, bad impression of a female voice, who would lead every conversation with, "Oh, hello, darlings." Then he would arch his back straight up and wave his right hand about and spoke as Lady Charlotte. Dear God. He would then flirt with us, all of us, as Lady Charlotte. Then he would span the group chat with paragraph upon paragraph of dialogue from her, and how she was open to all sexual taste, my darlings. Here is recorded for you the simple conversation during this time. "Oh, hello, darlings," waving his hand around as he lumbers toward our position. "Hi, Palabeard. Look, maybe you could lay off the, 'Oh, please, darling, call me Lady Charlotte.'" I kid you not, these words came out of his mouth. "Dear Ranger, why don't you sit next to me, so that we can get to know each other better?" Then he broke from the facade for a moment to unleash a hideous cackle. His prey squirmed underneath his stare. "Palabeard, seriously, stop, please." "Oh, come, darling. Everyone needs some loving, and you're so lonely." He sat down next to Ranger and he set his iron gaze upon her, his hungry mouth agape as he cornered his helpless victim, his slimy tongue tracing his teeth. I knew only one thing that could possibly save her from the advances of this new hybrid creature. "Hey, Lady Charlotte, why don't we go get a coffee and a cookie? I'll buy." I know, I was endangering myself. But what is a GM to do without his players? His gaze shifted from Ranger to me, his eyes narrowing and his Grinch-like smile taking to his face. "Why,
How could I refuse such nice manners, darling?
With a look to Ranger, I gave the facial expression that said, I'm screwed. Pray for me, please. Have a nice day. I'll see you at the Writers Club. Then I walked off to buy coffee and a cookie for this lumbering she-hulk behind me. He maintained the Lady Charlotte impression the whole time. I nervously shuffled back and forth and gave a brief, alright, before running off. Baldspot also got a good deal of attention from Palabeard's alter ego, and he was also getting hit on with Ranger and I. Enters Perfect. She stormed into my life and surprised me by asking me out after American Lit one day. We hit it off after 3 dates, and we declared each other boyfriend and girlfriend. It was grand old times. It still is. I'm going to propose to her soon. And I was introducing her to all of my friends. I intentionally kept her from Palabeard as long as I could. But alas, dear reader, it was all in vain. As Perfect and I sat, talking over coffee at the library, the shrill cry came,
Oh, hello, darlings.
Yes, he actually introduced himself to my girlfriend like that.
Oh, who is the pretty creature?
He swept his back low and he held out his hand to Perfect. I shot him a glare that could melt through a concrete wall, and I cut in and I said, Palabeard, if you ruin this for me, I'm going to tear your head off and crap down your neck. Could you please not do that right now? Please just be yourself. Maybe there is a God after all, because he dropped the Lady Charlotte voice.
Oh, all right. You're no fun, though.
Yeah, I'm the killjoy, right?
I don't think that you should date such a loser like him. I mean, he doesn't dress well, and he has poor taste in anime. I mean, I can't believe you'd want to be with him. He's so bony. He can't be comfortable to snuggle with. I'm really nice and plump.
Perfect then said that she was perfectly happy with how I felt when being snuggled. Palabeard then went on to insult how I dressed. Collared shirt with a t-shirt underneath and jeans. Please note that he wore t-shirts with holes and sweatpants. Then he insulted my personality. Yes, it's true. I have problems making emotional attachments to people. And before Perfect, I was genuinely disinterested in dating. This went on for about 30 minutes as he kept making creepy glances at Perfect. She kept refuting what he said about me before she just flat out said, You seem like one of those people who says girls won't date you because you're too nice. Do you own a fedora by chance? Let me tell you, we had been dating only about a week or two, but I got the vague feeling right then and there that I would never find a more perfect woman. I am normally really nice. I am. But I burst out laughing when she said that, and Palabeard simply got red in the face, then sneered,
Well, I have a fedora, but it won't fit,
before walking off. In the end, his campaign failed. He still uses Lady Charlotte at times in the Writers Club, but he stopped talking bad about me in front of Perfect, and he has been pretty manageable since. Ranger still suffers from him on occasion, and Baldspot has avoided him. He leaves me alone though. Now I know you're all worried that this means no Palabeard stories, but don't. I have plenty more from the times in club and outside, though I do fear that none of them touch the mark of Lady Charlotte. Until next time, enjoy. Hello, lovely readers. It's been about 2 months after the Where Do You Live encounter with Jay. Ye Old Comic Book Shop was having its birthday sidewalk sale. This is a big deal for the store, because it marks all the merchandise down to 10 to 50% off. They also have door prizes, fun contests for gift certificates, and some of those superhero trivia. Name that character, cosplay contest, and etc. Pokemon Go had only been released the previous month, so being a childhood fan of Pokemon, and a bit of a seamstress, I made myself a Vampirion cosplay and a trainer cosplay for my boyfriend, now husband. My cosplay was a knee-length blue dress with a matching blue wig. I made the tail and I made the ear fins on the headband. All in all, it looked pretty good. We went to the birthday sale and I had a great time to start. People asked for pictures, and I even ran into a few other cosplayers as Pokemon. But then the clouds covered and the sun and earth began to tremble. Jay arrived in a Pikachu onesie. It was dirty with what I pray was chocolate stains. I'm sure he thought it was cute. But that cheap yellow and striped material seemed to be straining to hold his girth in. And since I last seen him, not only was his hair still greasy, but the patchy beard that he was growing also looked terribly unkempt. However, what really shocked me was Jay was not alone. He was with the nice, mostly ham girl from the first story, and she was not in cosplay. Apparently they started dating, and I use those terms loosely because from what I was told, Jay still flirted, and he tried to get with any pretty thing that he saw, even when he was out with ham girl. Jay apparently bragged about it, saying, "We're a polyamorous relationship, so it's cool." I avoided Jay for the most part, and we went back to having fun. I forgot all about him until maybe a half an hour later. While I was browsing the manga, someone engulfed me with a massive hug from behind. "Vampirion, I choose you," Jay whispered wetly into my ear and snuggled a little closer. At first, I was frozen in shock, but when his hands started feeling my butt, I snapped. I screamed. I screamed like I was being killed in a horror movie. I knocked over a stack of mangas in my flailing. "What the heck are you doing?" my boyfriend shouted from the other side of the room. He came charging at Jay, and Jay released me quick. It was a bit blurry after this. I know I sank to the floor shaking. Jay started saying things like, "Well, she gave me the impression it was cool. She's just a tease. I can tell that she's secretly in love with me. You don't deserve her anyway. I'm a way better man than you could ever dream to be." And also something about anime? I'm not sure what that was about. At this point, my boyfriend is ready to beat the acne off of his face when the owner, aware things were getting out of hand, shouts, "I've called the cops." I've never seen a fat Pikachu run so fast in my life. I was no worse for wear. The owner gave me a $50 gift certificate. Please don't sue me money. And he promised to ban Jay forever. I never saw Jay again. Ham girl? Well, she officially dumped him after he was banned. She still likes gaming there, and she is now dating a very nice D&D player like herself. Hello everybody, this is the tragedy from my school of days of yore. First introduction of characters. Me. I'm a senior in high school, moderately popular. I was the captain of the drum line and played snare. What's that? Pretty cringy, you say? Au contraire. That will be explained later. Jake, one of my best friends. He witnessed all the neckbeardery to come. He's also in band, and he played the sax. Then we got Neckbeard, the overweight accomplice to Trollbeard. As his name suggests, he's smelly. He's got a superiority complex, and extremely obnoxious and loud. Then we got Trollbeard. Trollbeard. Where do I start? Well, for starters, he didn't actually have a beard. Only the wisp of single hairs that graced his chin. I call him Trollbeard because he is short and he looks like a troll. Or a goblin. Goblin troll? I don't know. So, as stated above, I was in band. Now, most band kids get a bad rap for being nerdy and even neckbeardy, but it wasn't the case in Northwest Florida school. It was actually considered cool to be in the band. I hail from a moderately mid-sized town, and it's heavy in the music scene. So musicians are not in short supply, but this isn't a tale of my band hijinks. This is the tragedy about a poor soul who was so cringeworthy that it would make your anus implode. Trollbeard was short, and he had goblin-esque features. Although he didn't sport the famous facial follicles that most neckbeards are known for, he did however wear a fedora and a long black trench coat, even in the summer. Now, dear readers, as I mentioned before, I live in Florida. It gets hotter than Satan's dunghole, but I digress. Trollbeard was an odd one. You see, back then I didn't know what a neckbeard was. We just called him a vampire kid because they legitimately thought that they were vampires. This was back when Twilight first came out. He was quite famous around the campus for his strange antics. He spoke in ye olde English, and yes, my friends, he would call females my lady. He was the de facto leader of the Neckbeard clan. He strode around the campus in his black trench coat, trailing behind him like a discount Darth Vader. He legitimately thought that he was so cool. One day, Jake and I was in math class together. Now for the record, dear reader, I was a slacker in high school. I was only concerned about playing drums and dating girls, and math was not my favorite subject. Neckbeard and Trollbeard sat behind me and Jake. I would often hear conversations about hentai, anime, League of Legends, and meme-based perusing. Other times, they would talk about relations. Hold on to your seats, poor souls. It's about to get even weirder. Please note that this part is very disturbing, especially for those who were present. You have been warned. One ill-fated day, our teacher was teaching us about the joys of how to foil and other confusing things. This makes my albino gorilla head hurt. Kong no like maths. Jake and I instead passed the time by talking about an upcoming band trip that we were going to take to the university and about the competition, when suddenly a shrill shriek shook the room. A girl who sat next to Trollbeard screamed,
Ew, are you kidding me, dude?
Dear reader, I would not lie to you. This is 100% true. Trollbeard had apparently grown bored with math, and he was instead having fun beneath his outdated attire. Not conspicuous enough to not be caught, however. There he was, all exposed and doing the unthinkable, one could only hope, in algebra. Some urges just can't wait, I suppose. A hush fell over the class. His face grew a lovely shade of bright red. Please, dear reader, you would all probably sympathize with Trollbeard, but please don't. He was generally despised by all, and for good reason. He was a misogynist, and he viewed women as nothing more than playthings. He would openly mock anyone who has religious beliefs. He had a very condescending tone whenever he spoke, and he had the biggest superiority complex ever. He was a generally disgusting human being. Weep not for Trollbeard. I wish I hadn't turned around to see Trollbeard's tiny shrink dink in his hand. I wanted to bleach my eyes after that. Our teacher had to call the SRO, or the school police officer. He escorted Trollbeard out of class for his inappropriate peep show. I'm not too sure what happened after that, but Trollbeard did resurface after a week later, as if nothing happened. Here is yet another tragic tale for my dear readers. This one, however, does not involve my high school era. This is a story of when I worked as a night shift patient transporter at a fairly large hospital. It wasn't a bad gig, honestly. My job was mostly transporting patients from one side of the hospital to the other in wheelchairs and stretchers. Sometimes I had to pull 400+ pound people from the bed to the stretchers. That's if they couldn't walk or were too lazy. The other part of my job was putting people who were expired into the morgue freezers. You get used to it after a while. We had this one massive room in the hospital where we kept the extra beds in case we ran out. It required a security guard to open it though. That's where Daryl comes in. Like any cliche horror story, it was actually a dark and stormy night, and it was about 11 p.m. My dispatcher tells the transporter that he has to grab a bed from the bed storage, and he promptly refused because of that creepy security guard on duty. I told her that I'd do it, not knowing the complete and utter horrors that would ensue afterwards. They all exchanged looks, laughed, and wished me good luck. My dispatcher calls security, and he tells them that I will meet them outside the door. And now I wait. The door to the bed storage, it was down a long hallway, and it curved around into another hallway, and there was nothing down that hall except for bed storage. It was mostly a passage from recovery to ICU. I was waiting and waiting and waiting, when suddenly I hear the door creak open and slam, followed by what sounds like someone with a peg leg slowly walking down the corridor. I looked around, but I saw nothing. Then I smelled it. A foul odor that had uppercutted my nostrils with an unrelenting force. It smelled like a mixture of mothballs, bleach, and rubbing alcohol with just a hint of fresh diarrhea. He proceeded after his smell. He came around his corner with a big set of keys. He had all the symptoms of neckbeardosis. He even had a legit neckbeard. Everything from his jawline and above, barren as the Mojave Desert. Everything below, however, was covered with a thinly sparse, yet a ubiquitous layer of hair. He had one eye that looked off to the left. He was mostly skinny, except for the immense pot belly. Unnerved by his horrible smell and strange demeanor, I tried to be polite. This is how the conversation went. "Hey man, how's it going?" He said nothing, one eye fixed on me and the other on the door. He began fumbling with his keys and looking for one that would open the door. The longer it took, the more awkward it became. He finally spoke.
Have you ever taken it in the rear before?
This did not compute. Had to make sure that I heard him right. I'm sorry, what?
You heard me. Have you ever taken it in the rear before?
Now, dear readers, I don't judge. If that's your bag, then cool. To each his own. I, however, am straight. I don't want tonight to be my first time, though. No, I can't say that I have.
I was a cop once, you know. Dang good one, too. We had this one guy, he'd do it to anyone. Do you like anime?
Oh, dear God, open the door. No, it's not my thing.
You should. I just watched Hyper Police.
Insert Japanese character name.
It was pretty dang sexy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man, sounds cool. He's still fumbling with his keys, and his smell is intensifying. Yeah, my girlfriend just left me because I had a gaming problem, and I watched too much porn. Oh, bummer, man. Yeah, I could have killed her if I wanted to, but I won't bother. I could totally get away with it because I was a cop. Oh, for crying out loud. I need to get out of here, quick and fast and in a hurry. Yeah, man, cool. Hey, are you gonna get that door open? 'Cause, you know, I got a patient waiting on a bed. Do you play Magic the Gathering? Son of a... No, man, not really my thing. You need help with those keys? No, I think I found it. Finally, he opened the door. Meanwhile, he was entertaining me with a story, and it can be summed up as him saying, I like going to bars and find the drunkest chick and offer her a ride home, because I'm a nice guy. That's not exactly the thing you admit to people. As soon as I found the bed that I needed, I bidded him a quick farewell and I noped the heck out of there. His smell still lingered in my nostrils long after I left. I went back to dispatch and I told them of my near-death experience. They all laughed. You may be thinking that he was just messing with me. No, dear readers, this was really him. In his off time, he wore the typical neckbeard garb, fedora, cargo shorts with socks and sandals, and also a wafu shirt. It turns out that he later got fired that month. This is because he went through a patient's panties and was sniffing them. He also liked to hang around the morgue, for no apparent reason. He was disturbed. Thank you very much for joining me. If you like those videos, please hit that like button. So, which one do you think was the cringiest? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to read them. If you want to hear more funny stories like this in the future, please hit that subscribe button. Have you had any experiences with some neckbeards? Please go ahead and send it to my email at funwithfailure@gmail.com. For updates and more crazy stuff, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Till next time, watch your back for neckbeards. Otherwise, it will be watched for you.